5 reasons why a compound is better and more deadly than a crossbow. All right, reason number 1 is weight. This thing's heavy. This thing weighs about 10 pounds. So lugging this thing through the woods, I've been toting my bow for 2 years now, and man, just picking it up, I'm like, God, this thing's heavy. 10 pounds. This total weight is about 6. Reason number 2, dependability. I've shot a crossbow for 10 years, not this one, but this is my 4th crossbow over 10 years of time, and I have blowed up my share of them. You would think you'd figure stuff out, but it's just too easy to do. The number 1 thing that wears out on them is the string. You can see there, you can see that serving is getting nicked up and everything. You're gonna put a serving on or string on. If you shoot it like you should, you're gonna put a string on every year. If you don't shoot it like you should, then you're gonna have boo-boos every year from forgetting. You gotta have the safety off, safety on, to snap it back, all kinds of stuff. The hand cranks on them, or some of them are different. One time I had a lighted knock and it didn't go fully up into the throat, and it skipped over when I was shooting at an 8-point, and the string skipped over the knock because it didn't have a C shape. It was one of them 10-point knocks that just had notches in it. Anyway, it blew up, throw the string off. Bow was down for the rest of the year. They had to order cams and pins and strings, and it cost me $300, and I had to finish that year out with a compound, and that's partly what got me back into compounds, because I had hurt my shoulder, and I thought that I couldn't shoot a compound anymore. But during the 10 years that I was shooting this, the shoulder healed up, and so I went back to shooting compounds. But I've learned there are several advantages, and I would not go back to a crossbow unless I absolutely had to. All right, so weight, durability, you just don't hardly know. You can dry fire this, not put an arrow in it, but let's be honest, that's kind of boneheaded. That's on us. These things are pretty durable. I shoot thousands of shots a year through my bow. I can make a string last 2 years. I usually change one every deer season, just to be sure before I go to the next tack or whatever, But I'll shoot 4, 5, 6 archery events and ranges around my house, around my local area, 5, 6, 8 times a year, and shoot in the yard, plus hunt with it. So I wear strings out. If I dared to try to shoot this that much, it would fall to pieces. They're just not built for that kind of reps. So durability, weight, and durability. I'm getting tired of holding this thing right here. Good Lord. 3 is versatility, maneuverability. I'm gonna put both of them in the same category. Up next to trees. See how when I cock this thing, it'll go down to like 6 inches wide. Well, that's pretty good, You can get right up next to a tree with that, but when you pull that trigger and it goes from here to there, when the limbs opened up, they hit the tree. When they hit the tree, the bow blows up, Deer runs off. You're in a tree, you can't necessarily shoot behind the tree or next to the tree. You're limited on your shot angles. Whereas with a compound, man, I can get right up next to that thing. I can get this close to this, pull it back, and I can shoot, and nothing's gonna happen. So I can literally put my bow right up next to the tree and not have a worry in the world. Weight, durability, versatility or maneuverability. Number 4, follow-up shots. It is way easier to grab an arrow, stick it in here, pull it back, boom, got you a follow-up shot. With the crossbow, we got to do the same thing, get our arrow, but we can't put it in there. We have to cock it, crank it down, do all that and everything, and it's a little bit of a process. So follow-up shots are way quicker with a compound than they are with a crossbow. So we got weight, heavy. We got durability, don't got it. We got versatility or maneuverability, blows up, getting close to the trees and stuff. And then follow-up shots, so that's 4. Number 5, what you've been waiting on, the best one on the list, and what I would say is the premier thing, reason why I won't shoot one again unless I absolutely have to and my body won't let me shoot compounds anymore. Then I will go to a crossbow if I have to. But as long as I can shoot a compound, I'm going to shoot a compound. The loudness of this thing. This thing sounds like a 22 going off to me compared to a compound. You listening to both of them go off, one is definitely louder than the other. And I believe that the deer are reacting. That's the one reason why 40 yards is such a hard distance to kill a deer at. Because they hear the bow, they're close enough to hear the bow go off and start reacting to it, and they hear the arrow coming at them at the same time immediately thereafter, and they start moving more. So, and they have a little bit more time. At 20 yards, really don't matter. They don't have much time. 30 yards, they have a little bit more, but 40 is the dead zone where most deer are missed. I have a theory, and hear me out. I think the compound bow has an advantage over the crossbow because of the sound. The further you get past 40, you get out to 60 or 70 yards, I think you have a better advantage with a compound shooting at a deer than you do a crossbow. And I know that's not what most people think. They grab the crossbow because it's easy to shoot and they don't have to practice. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you don't practice with it, it's going to bite you. It has me. I already know this. If you're going to use one, practice with it. If you don't, it's going to bite you. But I believe the compound bow is more deadly than the crossbow because the deer's not going to move as much at the further distance. So the difference in the sound of the crossbow and the sound of the compound being so drastic has to give the compound an advantage at those further distances, because the further away you are, the less you're going to hear the sound of the bow, which gives the compound the edge over the crossbow. I'm not bashing crossbows, don't get me wrong. If it comes down to it and I hurt my shoulder again, I will be shooting one. We'll say this: crossbows in the future, if we don't watch it and we don't train up our youngsters to try compounds and we just train them on crossbows, archery season as we know it could change. It could completely do away. I mean, shops are going to be hard to stay open selling compounds. And this may be 20 years down the road, I don't know, but the fact of the matter is traditional equipment is not as prevalent anymore, and compounds are, because compounds were easier. Crossbows are easier if you practice, but that's the key, is you have to practice, and they're not as reliable for practice. So the compound to me is still the most deadly weapon that you can archery hunt with, bar none, if used properly. All being equal, crossbow is a great weapon, and you can teach a 5-year-old how to shoot it in 30 minutes. You can't do that with a compound. So I understand the kids starting to shoot it, and I understand old people starting to shoot it and needing to shoot it. Injured people, I understand that. I did it for 10 years, and I wouldn't take that time back for anything, and I couldn't shoot a compound during that time. So I understand the need. They do have a place, but I also believe that we need to separate the seasons for the archery community. Have 2 weeks of season for just compound, and then open up crossbow, and then open up muzzleloader, and then open up gun. That way, all the equipment has a reason to be used. If we don't give an incentive for the compounds to be used over the crossbows, have a hunting period there that you can't use the crossbow. then the crossbow might push out or at least dampen our compound industry. So y'all, we need to think about that. We need to train up these kids. Let them shoot a crossbow starting out, but as soon as they're big enough to start trying to use a compound, we need to start training them on it and show them that aspect of bow hunting also. It is more time consuming, but the more you get into it, the more you study it, the more you get addicted to it. And I promise you, it's almost therapeutic in a lot of ways. Y'all, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.